All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we're breaking down the system architecture behind Immortal Realm's convoys. Just to set expectations right up front, we are talking strictly about the nuts and bolts of the system design today. If you're looking for a step-by-step playbook on playing them, you'll want to check out our How to Run Convoys companion explainer. But look, if you have ever played an MMO, you absolutely know the headache of group content. But this shard, they've built something totally different. We're talking scheduled NPC caravans that act as ambient, preformed group content.
And honestly, that is exactly what caught my eye. I play a ton, but I'm mostly a solo player, right? I see these caravans walking past me on the roads all the time. I guess my main question is this actually viable group content for someone like me who really doesn't want to deal with, organizing a 20-person guild run every single night?
Well, you are in luck because that is the exact question this entire system was designed to answer. So let's look at the traditional MMO model for a second. If you want to do a group escort or a dungeon, what happens? You need a preformed party, you're sitting around in queues, you're dealing with instance lockouts, and it's stressful. But the Immortal Realm convoy model flips that entirely on its head. These convoys are ambient. They are happening on strict schedule, whether players bother to show up or not. And the absolute best part? The payouts are completely independent from anyone else.
Okay, that sounds amazing on paper, but hearing that they are ambient, does that literally mean I can just walk right up to it?
Seriously, as a solo player, do I actually need to be in a party to escort a convoy and get credit for it? Do I need to be awkwardly asking for an invite and chat from whoever's already there?
The short answer is no way. Absolutely not. You don't need a party, you don't need to be sitting in some specific Discord voice channel, and you definitely don't need an invite.
By definition, a convoy is a scheduled, NPC-driven caravan walking a fixed route. It's totally scheduler-driven. You can't just summon one on demand. It functions as this preformed ambient group content that exists completely independently of you or any other player on the server. You are simply shadowing it. So if you see one walking by, you can literally just fall into step right beside it and boom, you are instantly participating in group content alongside whoever else happens to be walking down that road. Let's break down the actual anatomy of what's spawning in the game world so we really understand the engine running all this. A convoy basically consists of a caravan master at the front, who's usually hauling the cargo, and a handful of escort NPCs walking right behind them. They follow a very fixed route with specific waypoints, normally going from one city to another. Under the hood, they run on these recurring schedules. Usually it's 60, 85, 100, up to maybe 130-minute cycles, depending entirely on the route, plus just a little bit of random variance so they aren't 100% predictable. Oh, and finally, there's an encounter pool, which is basically the menu of ambushes you might run into. Okay, so if they run on this sort of hidden, recurring timer, how am I actually supposed to find them? Am I just expected to wander the roads randomly, hoping I bump into a caravan master? I mean, you could, but the game actually broadcasts it for you. When that timer fires, the caravan spawns at the starting point and enters what's called a gather window. This is just a brief pause where the NPCs kind of collect themselves, and a town-wide broadcast fires off to anyone within 40 tiles. Think of that gather window as your on-ramp. It gives you a brief grace period to hear the broadcast, drop whatever you're doing, casually walk over to the city gates, and join up before they actually depart. Okay, that makes total sense for actually locating them, but going back to that solo player experience, if I hear the broadcast, walk over, and literally just start walking next to them without a party invite, how does the system actually know I've joined the escort? How is it tracking me? And this right here brilliantly illustrates the core architecture of the whole system, the number 12. The system continuously runs checks to see who is within a 12-tile zone of literally any living convoy NPC. The exact moment you step within 12 tiles, the game tells you that you've officially joined the escort. And as long as you stay inside that zone, your time token tick rate is instantly multiplied by 3. That is the big headline reward right there, and you also start accumulating your participation credit. It's basically like punching a clock at a job. The game uses this ledger system. It builds a per-convoy credit ledger for every single player it detects, continuously recording your seconds of presence. So every server tick you are inside that 12-tile zone, you're getting credit. The system even uses per-tick clamps, so if the server gets laggy for a second, it doesn't punish honest escorts. And get this, if you have to step away, your accumulated time isn't wiped out. It literally just pauses until you walk back in. Wait, hold on, that raises a pretty huge edge case for me. These convoys definitely get ambushed, right? What if things get chaotic, the caravan master keeps walking ahead, and I have to peel off to fight the bandits? If I fall way behind the master to defend the group, do I drop out of that 12-tile zone and just lose my time credit? See, that is a fantastic question, and the developer is actually designed specifically around that exact chaotic scenario. The golden rule here is presence over proximity. That 12-tile zone is anchored to any living convoy NPC, not just the caravan master leading the pack. When an ambush happens, half of those NPC escorts actually peel off to fight right alongside you. As long as you are within 12 tiles of those defending NPCs, you are still in the zone and you're still earning credit, even if the master has wandered way further down the road. The credit goes to anyone meaningfully traveling with the caravan, not just the players hugging the master. And speaking of those defenders, let's talk about how this feeds into the combat loop. Hostile encounters are baked right into the schedule. A primary ambush usually rolls when you're somewhere in the 40 to 70% band of the route. Raiders spawn in, already completely hostile to the master. The convoy enters what's called a danger state where, like I mentioned, half the escorts peel off to defend. It gets super messy. The lead is moving away, the defenders are fighting. But if you and the other players jump in and secure a clean win by killing all the raiders within 5 minutes, a public tribute chest drops right at the ambush site, packed with gold that literally anyone can loot.
Now, really quickly, because I know some players might be thinking, hey, why don't I just attack the convoy myself? Yeah, don't do it. The system considers this protected travel. Attacking the caravan instantly logs an assault NPC crime via the Civic Justice system. And if it happens to be a Civic supplier convoy, the severity is bumped even higher. It is absolutely not worth catching a justice writ just to troll for a few seconds.
Good to know. I will definitely keep my sword pointed at the bandits. Okay, so let's say I did that. I walked with the caravan, I defended it during the ambush, and we finally arrive at the destination city. How does the actual final payout work? So, the absolutely crucial thing to remember is this number, 70%. When the convoy arrives, the system looks at your personal timesheet, those accumulated in-zone seconds we talked about, and divides it by the total travel seconds of the convoy. If your participation fraction is at or above 70%, you get paid. And this payout model is exactly what makes the system so incredibly friendly to solo players just dropping in. In traditional MMOs, payouts are almost always scaled by how much damage you did or whoever snags the final blow, which, let's be real, breeds totally toxic kill stealing. Immortal Realm uses a binary payout. Did you hit that 70% threshold? Yes? Then you get the full gold payout, which is anywhere from 250 to 900 gold. If you're below 70%, you get nothing. Everyone who passes that threshold gets paid fully and completely independently of each other. Payouts over 1,000 gold are safely delivered as a bank check. And hey, if you log off before it arrives, it just auto-deposits to your bank. Plus, hitting the threshold gives you daily ledger progress, and if it's a special mission-typed convoy, you get those specific rewards layered right on top of the base gold. Oh man, that completely eliminates the stress of competing with the other players walking with you. I love that. But what about the actual cargo the master is carrying? Like, what happens if things go terribly wrong and the caravan master just straight up gets killed? Right, so the cargo is an actual physical item sitting in the master's pack. If the master dies, it drops right to the ground. Now, the system has this mechanic called cargo drift. It essentially pulls the cargo's location every 2 seconds. If the cargo is left behind and falls outside the 12-tile zone of any surviving NPCs for more than a 3-second grace period, it triggers an OnLoss event. But here's the cool part. As a player, you can just run over, pick up the cargo, and physically carry it yourself. The system considers the cargo present whether it's on a corpse, on the ground, in an NPC's pack, or in your pack. As long as you keep it inside that 12-tile zone, the run is totally salvaged. Now, if you don't manage to pick it up in time, the back-end policies kick in. If that specific cargo has a fail convoy policy, losing it flips the entire run to a failed state. But if the policy is none, the loss is completely silent. The surviving caravan NPCs just keep walking toward their destination, totally unaware they just lost all the goods. And look, even if the absolute worst happens, let's say all the NPCs wipe right near the city gates, or maybe the convoy somehow hits its 60-minute lifetime cap, the system still issues an emergency payout. Any pending ambush chests are suppressed, and yeah, mission extras are forfeit. But the base gold still pays out to anyone who hit that 70% presence threshold. The game truly, genuinely respects your time. A wipe at the very end isn't just a totally wasted trip. So all of these mechanics, the 12-tile zone, the independent binary payouts, the whole cargo recovery system, they all support the core architectural thesis of the Shard. Group content shouldn't require pre-formed groups. It just perfectly splits the difference between lonely, solo grinding and the massive friction of party-required quests. You get the fun rhythm of ambient social play without any of the hassle. You know, seeing all this laid out, strangers, real stakes, totally independent payouts, no Discord required at all. It really makes me wonder, is this the ultimate group content while alone experience? Because honestly, it might completely redefine how I interact with multiplayer on this shard. I'm literally going to go catch the very next broadcast.
Honestly, I think it just might be. That wraps up our explainer on Immortal Realm's convoy architecture. Get out there, find a caravan, and get paid just for being present. Thanks for hanging out with us.